Today on Dylan Talks Tone, we're going to talk about the difference between wide range humbuckers and regular humbuckers. And I'm probably going to say a couple of times because wide range humbucker, I don't know why I can't say it. Anyway, also, at the end of this video, we're going to tell you what guitar we are going to buy and give away when we hit 30,000 subscribers. So stay tuned for that because you, over the last week, have been choosing that guitar. And so I'm going to tell you what we're going to buy. Let's see. This is a coffee called Ubora Coffee Roasters out of Augusta, Georgia. Really good stuff today. A little shout out to them. Local place to me. Really like them. Okay. If you're a rock and roll guitar player in the late 50s, early 60s, mid 60s, and you play a Fender, you're starting to think to yourself, I want to rock harder and longer and louder. The problem is that I play a Fender guitar and they have single coil pickups in them. Gibson has the PAF Humbucker starting in 1956, 1957. They started to go into some guitars in 57. Seth Lever designed those ones, right? So Gibson was rocking harder and longer and louder. They just were. And as music evolved to need to rock harder and longer and louder, then the Fender guitar was like, we need that. So Fender actually said, hey, Seth Lever, I want you to come over and design me a pickup. I want it to be a humbucker, but here's the thing. I don't want it to be a Gibson-y humbucker. I want it to be a Fender-y humbucker. I still want that feel and that sound and that kind of spank and that sort of overall Fender feel, but I want it to be a humbucker because I want it to be bigger and badder, but Fender's version. He said, okay, so here's how you do that. This is the difference between a Gibson humbucker and a Fender wide range humbucker. And then we're going to get into the reissues later. So a Gibson humbucker has screws on one side, slugs on the other, and it has that big magnet underneath, right? It's about that long. It's 2.4 to 2.5, depending on the model, inches long. Okay, it's a lot of magnet. There's 5,000 winds of wire on each coil, which is kind of like half a P90. That's where it came from. And so now you have about 7.8 to 8.2K on an original early-ish PAF humbucker, and it's 42 gauge wire. We're going to call it Alnico 3 or Alnico 5 magnets. And here's the important thing. The efficiency of that pickup, the inductance of that pickup, is somewhere around 4.6 to 4.8 Henrys. Remember that number. If you don't even understand what that number is, just remember that number. And remember that in order to have a humbucker that is similar in power and frequency response, and you want the thing to be about the same, we got to be 4.6 to 4.8 Henrys. But here's the problem. That's the PAF style. When they designed the Fender style, they said, we want it to be more Fender-y. So Seth Lever says, well, what I'm going to do is instead of using screws and slugs and a big bar underneath, I'm actually going to machine magnets that go in where the pole pieces go, just like a normal Strat or a Tele. So there's not going to be any bar magnet underneath. The pole pieces are going to be magnets themselves, just like normal Fender. But the problem is that we're going to have to use Cunif magnets instead of Alnico because we need to be able to machine them, because you can't really machine Alnico. So that's why they use these Cunif magnets. So they had to machine these threads and the screw tops in them. So they had to be machined. So Cunif magnets. The problem is that there's not enough magnet there. Okay? There's not as much as with that big bar magnet, more or less, give or take. So you wouldn't get the inductance out of the pickup that you needed to keep up and be bigger and badder and rock harder and longer than a Gibson pickup. So what we have to do is we have to compensate by making the coils larger, more or less. There's more engineering that goes into it than that, but basically they had to make the coils bigger. So instead of having 5,000 winds on each of a Gibson style coil, you're talking more like 7,000 or 8,000 depending on who you ask. I've seen 10,000, I've seen 6,500. Everything I've ever seen, right around 68 to 7,000 winds per bobbin of 42 gauge poly wire. Well, the problem is you can't fit 7,000 winds of 42 gauge wire on a regular humbucker bobbin. This humbucker bobbin right here that I wound the other day maxes out. I mean, you could smash 5,500 winds on there, but it would be, it's a lot. 5,500 is a lot. So to put, 7 or 8,000 winds on a coil, you have to make the coil bigger. Therefore, we have a larger than normal pickup. The Fender wide range humbucker with the 2 screws on either end, and it's bigger, and the hole is bigger, and everything is bigger, because he wanted to have enough inductance, 4.6 to 4.8 Henrys, and he wanted to have about 10K of overall wire resistance, but there wasn't quite as much magnet there. Boom, you have the Fender wide range humbucker. The resulting sound is exactly what they were looking for. It is a humbucker. It sounds like a humbucker, but more Fendery. Brighter, a little bit gnarlier. And now in the 70s, in the original ones, they would put 1 meg pots in the guitar. So they were even brighter, man. They would cut through a mix like crazy. 1 meg pots. Let's jump forward to 1998. 98. And here we go with some Mexican-made Fenders reissues, and then we go all the way down to today with Squier reissues of the same pickups. By this time, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to get that Cunif magnet that is machinable. It's also very expensive. Therefore, in a reissue guitar, it does not make sense. So the modern ones that you see every day, like in a reissue of a 72, for example, have regular humbuckers in them in a big box. So if you take a look at this wide range humbucker that I rewound for a guy. So we'll get into how we fix them in a minute, but I was doing this for a guy the other day, so you can just check this out. So if you look at this, now you can see it looks like a wide range humbucker. It looks like it has screw pull pieces all the way around. See how 3 of them are facing up, 3 of them are facing down on either coil. They're screw pull pieces. Everything looks legit. But as we lift the cover off, notice now it's got this like waxy wool stuff around the outside to take up the space so that you don't have any feedback, because it's regular size humbucker bobbins in there. So now we're only going back to basically putting, 5,000 to 5,500 winds on each coil. Now we can mess around with wire types and all that kind of stuff. And then if you flip the coil over, the pickup over, it's a normal humbucker magnet in there. It is my opinion that the way these are wound and the way these are, the magnet choice in them, I think it kind of sucks. So we go ahead and cut it all apart, cut everything off of it, rewind it to a spec that we have found that we like, and then school bus. So we cut all the wire off, we rewind it to a spec that we like, we replace it with a magnet that we like, and we put it back together, and we get this thing sounding really, really good. It still has the wax in there, it still has all that stuff in there, because you have to have it in there, otherwise it'll feedback and it'll rattle and it'll whistle and scream and do all kinds of stuff you don't want it to do. But it fixes it, and the thing sounds unbelievable. The other thing that I would recommend if you ever have one of these guitars is switch the pots, because all of the reissue stuff mostly has 250K pots in it. Put 500s in it at least, and try this rewind situation. There are some aftermarket companies, the Creamery, for example, and Lawler. Lawler makes a fantastic, to me, Lawler makes the best one, reproduction of the early pickups with fancy magnets and all the original stuff. But they're like $300 a piece or something. They're really, really expensive. So what we do is kind of a more budget-friendly compromise to that, and they sound really good. If you have the money and if you want to do it, buy those Lawlers. They are so good. I'm not even afraid to say it. I mean, I make pickups for a living, but I would not even be afraid to say those Lawlers are unbelievable. My buddy has a set of them in his Mexican reissue, and they're unbelievable guitars. Unbelievable pickups. So there you go. Gibson, Fender wide range, reissue, how to fix the problem. That's all we need to know. Now, let's pick which guitar we're going to give you when we hit 30,000 subscribers. Well, what's going on? It's time to announce the guitar. So for those of you that are new to this channel, when we hit 30,000 subscribers, we're at 27,010 or something right now. So it should just be like a couple of weeks. We're going to give away an Ibanez AX10. Now we did a bunch of surveys and comment stuff to figure out, we let you choose the guitar. We had 4 guitars and then you narrowed it down to 1 by your choices. And so we're announcing right now that's what we're going to give away. It's going to be the blue one. I'll put a picture of it up here on the screen so you can see it. It's going to be pretty cool. 2 humbuckers, 3-way switch. We're going to do some push-pulls. Jersey Shore Guitar Garage is going to help us with some wiring. We're going to put tuners in it. It's going to be really, really cool. And then we're going to pick somebody to give it away. So here's how this is going to work. Between now, right now, the comment of this video, between this video and when we hit 30,000 subscribers, when we hit 30,000, the contest is over, okay? And we'll pick somebody. Between now and the time we hit 30,000 subscribers, if you have to be a subscriber and you have to hit the notification bell and you have to comment on one of the videos between now and the time we hit 30,000 subscribers. You'll know it's one of those videos because at the top of the comment section and in the pinned comment, I'll put like the official rules for the contest, okay? So, and read those official rules because it's important. It's, you know, where you live and how you notify us and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you read those rules. It'll be in the pinned comment and in the description of every video between now and the time we hit 30,000 subscribers. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. That's all you have to do, okay? I'm super, super stoked to be able to do this for you. As you all are aware, we're not a huge channel, so we have not been able to do fun stuff like this and give something cool away. And it's just really, really awesome that all of you have been watching so much lately, and I'm really grateful for that. So I want to be able to give something back in this way. Now that being said, I don't know if you know this or not, but if I looked at my analytics for my channel right now, 75% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. Did you know that? So if even half of you subscribed right now, we would be able to do way more fun stuff like this. And maybe not give a guitar away every month, but we would be able to do way more fun stuff and involve you a lot more with, you know, cool things and be able to do more stuff and be able to show you cooler content, which is that's the whole goal of what I want to do with this thing, to inspire you to be able to play. So if you would be able to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, that would be fantastic. Make sure you like the videos because that tells YouTube kind of how to spread our videos around the internet, and all of that put together makes it to where we can make cooler content for you. And it makes it to where we're not just stuck in one place shooting videos all the time. It makes it to where we can go and do things and show you stuff and all that. It's going to be really, really fun as this thing builds. And so I just want to say thank you by giving this guitar away. So make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell, and do all that stuff. And we will talk about this in a couple of days. Hopefully this guitar will be here. I might do a live unboxing on YouTube. We might do, I don't know, we'll see in the next couple of days. It just depends when it gets here. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon.